Today's Sunshine Note is titled, Questioning Authority. How long, O Lord, must I call for help, but you do not listen? Or cry out to you violence, but you do not save? Habakkuk 1:2. So there I was, standing in a pile of wood shavings, as angry as I've ever been at any time in my life. I had just one more chance, for I was holding the last piece of wood that would fit the plans. I'd worked out the woodworking project to build a custom chess set with my dad, who showed me how to shape the wood and get the box to fit together. It required several different cuts and runs through the planer. However, I felt that all those steps were unnecessary. So when he left me alone, I took a few shortcuts that made sense to me at the time, only to find that my shortcuts gouged, slipped, and chopped the wood into unusable sticks. The last board I ran through the planer was ripped out of my hands, and a sickening whine and chuck told me I just ruined the last piece of wood, bringing my efforts to an inglorious end. Sometimes we need to trust people who know more than we do. The prophet Habakkuk stands out among the Old Testament minor prophets as the one who openly questions what God is doing. It's just a few years before the Babylonians will destroy Jerusalem, carting off its inhabitants to be slaves in Babylon. The entire first chapter in Habakkuk, yelling, crying, and demanding an answer for what he sees as God's insane punishment. He doesn't deny that his people deserve punishment, but he doesn't get why God would have the Babylonians, the brutal heathens that they are, dish it out. God's response is twofold. He says that he will still punish the Babylonians for their own sins, but also that Habakkuk simply needs to trust that he knows the best things to do. Ironically, Habakkuk takes this in stride and is able to write in chapter 2, verse 4, "But the righteous will live by faith." The rest of the book, chapter 3, is written as a song that highlights Habakkuk's decision to trust in God's actions, even if he doesn't understand them. And there it is. In simple terms, trust God even when you don't understand everything he does. It's not always the answer we want, and frankly, we shouldn't always assume that bad things that happen are sent by God to mess up our lives. But in the grand scheme of things, whatever happens to us, our family, or even our country, Habakkuk would tell us that it's best simply to trust God, even if you don't understand everything that is going on. May God bless you today.